Hello and welcome back. Today we have this position. It is white to move and win, so you can pause the video for a while to try to think and find the answer on your own. Alright, so let's just look at this position first. There's got to be some kind of a mate or... because we have an advantage. As white we have an advantage, but there are some tricks because this bishop is actually hanging. Our bishop is hanging, and the rook is defending the knight. So if you want to defend the bishop, for example, move it anyway, like on this diagonal or on this diagonal, then it's going to be the same thing, and it will end up in a draw. See why it's going to end up in a draw? Because the bishop is still there, and it doesn't matter where it goes, it still protects this e8 square. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that black can play rook takes a7, taking the knight, and we cannot capture back. Because if we did, this is a stalemate, as you can see. The rook is covering these squares, the bishop is covering that square, and the king is stalemating his king. Alright, so this is why it doesn't work to try to save the bishop. Bishop is there to die. But what are we going to do? Do we save the knight, for example? Do we play something else? What do we play? Well, for example, if you played rook g7, you might say it could be a good move. Because when black takes it, then we play a check, black moves somewhere, it doesn't matter, then we win the rook, and this is completely winning. But of course, after rook to g7, black does not have to take with the king. Black will take with the rook. And after we play some kind of a check, black will just move away. We keep giving checks. Because if we just take here, it's just going to be a draw. One knight is not enough to win the game. Alright, so it's not saving the bishop. It is not playing rook g7 because rook g7 is too slow. We want to play the check, but the check is too slow. What do? And we play the fastest check. And the fastest check right there is to play rook to f7 check, sacrificing the bishop intentionally. Okay. Now black is pretty much forced to take the bishop. Okay. After takes, what's going to happen? What's going to happen here is that we're going to play this move king to g8. And the idea, we want to support the rook to f8 check that will win us the rook on a8. Now, as you can see, the rook cannot really move, and now the sacrifice of the rook does not work. Why it doesn't work? Because we gave up the bishop. We gave up the bishop that was controlling that square, and now after black takes it, for example, it's not a stalemate. Black can still move. Okay, and what we're threatening right now is threatening this move, rook to f8. Black cannot move the rook because obviously up a check, king moves somewhere, we win the rook. Easy. Alright. What if black moved the king though? Well, the same thing. We can we play this check? Well, it's still good because it doesn't matter where black goes. He plays this move, and this is a winning endgame, of course. Okay, but black in this position will play rook to d8. The idea of rook to d8, he's trying to save his rook. So now we play a check. This is completely a draw because there's nothing else that we can do. Of course, black will not go here and blunder a fork. Black will play king b7. And our rook is pinned, so it doesn't matter if we take him or he takes us. The same thing will happen, and that's a draw. So what is the way to win after this rook d8 move? Well, the way to win is to attack the rook again. We want this rook to be removed off the board, and only then we can win this game. And this is the only move, knight to c6. Attacking the rook, and also threatening this move, rook to e7, checkmate in 1. So we're attacking the rook, checkmate in 1, and also could be checkmate in 1, for example. Let's say he moved the rook anywhere else, like here. Then obviously rook e7, this is checkmate. What if the rook moves somewhere else, like here? Well, this is still a checkmate. Okay, so black needs to solve move rook to e7 check. So he plays rook to d7. After rook to d7, as you can see, our knight is controlling these two squares. And the king is controlling these two squares and defending the rook. So we only play a check, and we got the checkmate. Really cool, right? Thank you for watching.